We're not starting off strong because I can only hear out of one ear. One ear! I get nothing in this place. People hate me. This is why we need donations, because our equipment doesn't work. Forget it. I might as well just not even use headphones. I'm nauseous. It's like I have vertigo. And my voice is going like this in my brain. One side to the other side to the other side to the other side. Welcome to Lobotomy Hour. Clearly, I need a straitjacket. This is the 1 hour a week that I cover all things pop culture and entertainment news from a conservative perspective without the liberal propaganda, but I only have one working ear. And I go insane in my small box. This is where some would say I get my wiggles out. So welcome. I'm Alex Clark. You can thumbs up, subscribe to this channel. Very exciting things going on. So you're going to want to be subscribed because a lot of announcements, a lot of hints, a lot of riddles. I'm on my Dora-ish, if you will, the troll under the bridge, leaving clues, breadcrumbing, Easter egging. It's going to be happening sooner than you think. Those of you who pay attention and show up to the lives, you will be ahead of the curve. You will know that something is going on. You will be able to predict it. You will have a little bit, you will have an advantage, I will say. So there is that. Now, I don't know what the heck happened. Oh, okay. So anyway, I don't even know if this is worth it because I can't hear and there's something just not right technology-wise. So I don't know. It just sucks. Well, I guess I have to keep it on because I'm not going to be able to hear the clips. So it'll all just be in one side of my head. Okay. Well, John Deere of all brands has been revealed to be one of the wokest companies in America. JFK, he is a grandson. I said that a little too fast. Let's just settle on John Deere's one of the wokest companies in America. Okay. Also, JFK's grandson, he's a self-proclaimed silly goose, and he is now the political correspondent at Vogue, also residential hot zaddy. Katy Perry is attempting to resurge her career, but she has discovered that since she's taken a step back, she's become a mother, she's gotten married to Orlando Bloom, and now she's back trying to resurge her pop career, and well, she's learning that since she left, the left has gone even further left, and she's basically left in the dust, and now everybody's trying to cancel her, and all she's done is release a 15-second teaser of her new single, Woman's World, and everybody's upset. So there's that, which is kind of funny. And then Jennifer Garner's teen daughter is demanding a mandatory mask mandate in 2024. Then we'll get into a little bit of the horrific story of actress Shelley Duvall, who just passed away, what happened to her after filming the famous horror movie, also just one of the best movies of all time, The Shining. If you have never seen The Shining, I can only assume that you have no taste or you're 22 years old and your parents have no taste. I don't know. I'm trying to help you out. So that needs to happen this weekend if you've genuinely never seen The Shining yet, which is crazy. But I guess a lot of you don't know that story. I thought it was just common knowledge because I posted on my story today I'm just so sad about her death. Just based on, everything that we know about her story and everything that happened to her. And everybody's like, well, what's the story? And I'm like, Once again, I'm carrying the team on my back, trying to get you guys up to speed. And this is 30 years later. Anywho, let me just check in with the chizat. Let me just check in with the rats in the chat. See what's happening with you. Because we've had haven't we had a couple weeks off? When was the last time I was here? The last time we were here, I know we talked about Kylie Jenner, but what else? When was that? How long ago? All right, we'll try to keep things moving here. So before we get into all those stories, I will say we do have a surprise announcement, something many of you have been asking for. We need a drum roll sound effect. Introducing the Jam Shirt in 2 styles and colors, only on tpusamerch.com. We have navy, the navy Jam Shirt. We've got the ivory Jam Shirt, one with pocket, one without. This is the beautiful navy, as you're seeing here. It is a comfort colors tee, which in my opinion is the top tier type of t-shirt that you can get. It's featuring our strawberry jams, but my Glock don't. Little illustration on the back, and then on the front, on the pocket, you get a little strawberry design. I like this because it's a unisex fit, so I like to order this type of Comfort Colors t-shirt in a medium. I love these running around wearing errands with, like, you know, those little exercise shorts that have the mesh underwear built in. It's like, it's crazy. It's so free. And this is the type of shirt I like to wear when I'm running errands. And then you have this type of shirt for bedtime, which is, in my opinion, just the best type of shirt to sleep in. Comfort Colors, hurrah, hurrah. But because it is Comfort Colors and it has a pocket, that means we have to charge more. So for those of you who will complain about that, we have the Ivory Strawberry Jams t-shirt. Yes, we do. We sure do. It's ivory, and on the collar neck area, they're bringing it up. On the collar neck area, you've got the strawberry there and no pocket. And then on the back, you have a little bit different strawberry jams, my Glock don't, design. TPUSAmerch.com. I don't know where that is, but they'll get to it eventually. So that is that. You can go to TPUSAmerch.com, get code Alex Clark. Will get you 10% off your order. By the way, this is not all. We are restocking some of the stickers that kept selling out, and we are restocking the jam tote is available now. The jam tote has been our most popular item we have ever released in the shop, and this baby is sturdy. It's huge. It's very high quality. You guys were really impressed by this. Adorable custom art messaging that promotes strawberry jam and freedom. Hurrah. This is the last restock on the jam tote. TPUSAmerch.com, code Alex Clark. It will sell out. We have restocked this, like, I don't even know, 8 times. We sold over 1,000 of these totes. This is the biggest merch drop we have ever had. You guys love this bag. Everybody wants this bag, and we cannot keep doing it. We're like running the tote people that are making the canvas bag at a house and home. Okay, so that's over after this. So it will be gone. There's also a few Got Raw Milk shirts left. So that is my merch spiel. Need a squeeze juice break here. The new pink lemonade with pomegranate and cucumber. Here's the ivory shirt. Very cute, very cute. No pocket. Oh, and this is a traditional woman's fit. So it is a woman's t-shirt fit, I believe. The other one is unisex fit, and we have the tote. All right. Now, John Deere is the wokest company in America. Now, this would be shocking. I think when we think woke companies, we think Bud Light, obviously, we think Target, but now you should be thinking John Deere. So it's as shocking to me as it is to you. My friend Robby Starbuck on Twitter, he blew the whistle on this. He really spent some time, days, hours investigating this because he kind of came out and blew the roof off of Tractor Supply, and, you know, they came out, they apologized, and they were like, okay, we're going to walk back all of these woke policies that we've been doing. It's just so weird to me how these companies whose bread and butter, their entire customer base, are likely conservatives, farmers, people in ag, you know, these are your good old boys. That is who your customer base is. And yet you are promoting drag for children and stuff. I mean, it's just absolutely nuts. So full credit to Robby Starbuck. You should be following him on Twitter. Really shocking and disturbing stuff. So I've got a few clips because he did like this 8-minute video really diving into the back end of John Deere as a company and like what's been going on based on their Facebook page, their LinkedIn page, their website, all of these different things. And so I just broke it down into like 4 of like the juiciest things from this 8-minute video. So here is clip 1.
This is an event that John Deere sponsored called Capital City Pride's Little Rainbow Run. It was for kids as young as 3 years old to engage in pride. And side note, I don't care if you're gay or straight, kids should not be celebrating what type of sex you like. It's weird, it's creepy. Here's a fun photo we found on LinkedIn. Yes, this is John Deere employees being trained on the genderbread man. Yes, the genderbread man. If you're not familiar with that, it's the whole concept that basically gender is completely fluid. There's no such thing as your biological sex. You just are whatever you think you are. So much like Tractor Supply used to have, John Deere has what are called ERG groups. These are a way to divide people on identity lines. Pure identity politics. They separate you by race, sexuality, or any number of these things. This is a post about their rainbow ERG group, which, if you guessed was their gay group, you were correct. You're gonna wanna see the logos that were made for it. As much as I wish I was joking, I am very much not joking. These are real logos that were posted on LinkedIn. Which, side note, John Deere is much more open about their belief system on
Okay, the rainbow wheat or whatever, are you kidding me? So some different puzzle pieces falling into place for me here. Yeah, I wonder why that is indeed. Perhaps because they know the people that they need to be impressing for their social credit score are on the sites like that and not their actual customer base. But let's keep going, because wait till you see here who their largest shareholder is.
Bill Gates is their largest shareholder. Are you getting super conservative vibes yet from John Deere?
Okay, so Bill Gates is also buying up all of the farmland. So let's see a little bit more. Now, this is all coming together for me. Is it coming together for you? John Deere employees are encouraged to do this 21 day anti-racist education thing. It's like a course. And Robby actually did it so he could see what these employees were being told and taught. So here's some fun little tidbits.
Another challenge option I received was to listen to the podcast episode, Bias Isn't Just a Police Problem, It's a Preschool Problem. No, I'm not joking. I wish I was. And just when we thought we were done with Ibram Kendi, here he comes. He's back again, and they're discussing his book, Anti-Racist Baby. Yes, that is the children's book about anti-racism.
Gets worse.
This challenge also listed white privilege and, yes, Christian privilege as the 5 most common types of privileges. Bending over backwards to help. Shouldn't do that. Also racist. There was a whole lot more crazy, but that's a short summary of that 21-day challenge from United Way. And that was promoted on the John Deere website, that the finance team did that, and apparently they love when employees do things like this because they've given millions to United Way since then. And I'm sure right now you guys are all itching to know about the journey that John Deere employees have as rainbow allies. So watch this video. I'm at least pretty sure none of them are hostages, but you decide.
DEI is no longer an option. It's a business imperative if we want to maintain our leadership in the marketplace and continue to attract great talent and retain the talent.
I'm learning each day how different we all could be and how many unconscious biases are there at work and how we have to be cautious about them.
Now, why is all of this happening? Because there's much more, and we have a lot to expose. This is going to be coming out over the course of the next few weeks at the very least. But we need to point out, it seems like all of this has started to happen under CEO John May. John May, since he's been there, has overseen all of these woke policies coming forward, the embrace of DEI, which is just inappropriate. We don't seek our values to be forced on anybody else. We just want neutral workplaces and neutral businesses to buy products from. We don't need your politics or your social values. We just want to have good products, good customer service. That's it. So John has a choice to make, and that's his choice. He's either going to double down on these crazy policies, or he's going to recognize that they are diametrically opposed to the values of his customers.
Now, a lot of this made sense to me because a recent John Deere video came up for me on my For You page on TikTok, and it caught my attention because the spokesperson was this influencer guy who freely admitted he knew nothing about farming and knows nothing about tractors. Insane.
Hey everybody, my name is Rex, and I'm sure you've seen by now, I'm the Chief Tractor Officer of John Deere. The title, a little bit misleading because I'm not the equipment expert. The people that use it are. And I'm here to seek out those stories and help tell them in a way that a younger demographic, which I'm a part of, can better relate to.
What the heck are you talking about, Rex? Rex, if that is your real name? I'm sorry, what? Aren't you supposed to be at like a Noah Khan concert or something? How did you even get here, Rex? Need a squip. Need a quick sip. This is a squip of my squeeze juice lemonade. Hold on. Oh my gosh. What I need is a straw. I forgot to grab a straw. Shop.squeezejuice.com. You can use code ALEX for 25% off. This will ship straight to your door cold. This is real lemonade. Literally the only ingredients: pomegranate juice, lemon juice, cucumber juice, 100% juice, no water added, not from concentrate, GMO-free fruit. It's incredible. Small family farm in California. Love them. Shop.squeezejuice.com, code Alex. What is really sad is John Deere has been posting, John Deere is in the brand, has been posting some amazing videos on TikTok with this kid who I have done a YouTube short on before. I love this kid. He knows more about tractors than Rex, okay? And he's probably getting paid a ton of money by John Deere to like be their little, another, I don't know, influencer for them or whatever. But the poor parents are going to have to make a choice here. I'm sure they're making a ton of money letting their kid talk about John Deere, which is a brand that this child genuinely loves and knows everything about. So it was a perfect fit for John Deere. There's like the one good thing they did, but then you've got like the parents, it's like you've got to look into now what John Deere is representing and promoting. Do you want your child around these values?
Thank you, everyone, saying that I should be John Deere's chief tractor officer, but I guess I can't. This is because I've already partnered with Deere, my favorite company, and already took it on a really important job. And it's going to be fun, but I'm going to be training the new chief tractor officer. Yeah, you heard that right, by a long shot. Once Deere selects their new chief tractor officer, that person is going to fly out to Indiana, my state, for some hands-on training, and I'm going to teach them about everything there is to know about tractors, what each machine has to know, and all the bells and whistles that they got. Who wants to spend a day with me learning about tractors and equipment? If you do, head to the JohnDeereCTO.com and submit your video by April 29th. Yep, you heard that. To score the best job ever. Well, besides mine.
Well, it's just very sad because that kid is adorable and he knows everything there is to know. I mean, he's basically a farming genius at whatever age he is. But, like I said, those parents need to be made aware of all of this, really. And they're going to have to make a decision on if they want their kid around that. Me personally, absolutely not. But, nothing runs like deer in a dress. Next story, JFK's grandson is now at Vogue. And I want to talk about our new political obsession. Yes. So my best friend Lauren sent him to me. I had no idea who this was, never seen him in my life. And then she was like, oh my gosh, you've got to become obsessed with Jack Schlossberg. So he is JFK's only grandson. He looks like his uncle JFK Jr., who married Queen Carolyn Bessette Kennedy. And he is now, I will quote, this is what Vogue wrote, he is now the political correspondent ahead of the 2024 election for Vogue, a role that will see him combine his background in law and business. He received his JD and MBA from Harvard with the self-described silly goose tendencies he displays online. Marry me yesterday. Silly goose tendencies. So if you don't follow this guy, you need to on Instagram. He is totally libtarded, but I think we can overlook that because he is hot. And that is what you do. If he's hot enough, we can look past it. Not really, okay? There will be women in the comments that take it so seriously, and I'll get a message like, you know what, this is horrible advice. You're a danger to young women. Why are you telling them to marry some lib guy? Why are you doing that? What's wrong with you? You're a op. You are a psyop in the conservative movement. No, I'm just being funny. But he is gorge and really funny, but it's like he says stuff, defending. He's like, oh, we've been in such a economic upturn with President Biden. He's the best, but he'll say it in this really funny Russian accent or do I don't even know, an Indian voice or something. And then he's dancing around and just doing crazy stuff. Genuinely a funny person and just good looking. And so it just makes it hard for people like me and you. He is the psyop because we get sucked in and we want to we're like, sure, okay. No, we're smarter than that. We won't, vote for, his stuff. But Anyway, so JFK's grandson now at Vogue. I'm just giving you the heads up now. You need to be following him because he has great content and it's just interesting. It's interesting to take a little peek into the other side. I ordered this book of some chick who's like huge. I don't even know. She was like a former aide for some lib in Congress, and she's just extreme, like feminist, whatever. And anyway, she wrote this book that's like the Gen Z guide to like taking back our country or whatever, and like exposing everything that the conservatives are trying to do. Her and I are like the same age. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I bought the book. I thought it was interesting. I just want to see like, okay, so what is her interpretation of like what conservatives want in the world that we're trying to build, or the country we're trying to build? Like, what is her interpretation of that, and like what is her guide to how they can like outsmart us or whatever? So I like to see what they're up to. And anyway, she actually ironically had very nice things to say about me recently. She said I was like her favorite, even though we vehemently disagree. She said I was her favorite like influencer on the conservative right. So I was like, oh, well, I'll buy your book. I'll see what you're up to, even though I totally disagree. But I mean, we'll just take a peek, and what's the least I can do since you were saying nice things about me. Anyway, the third thing today is Katy Perry has been canceled before she can even come back. This is honestly kind of hysterical, and I feel so bad for her in a way because she's just trying. She's an elder millennial who has been historically extremely classically liberal, but she totally took a step back for several years and hasn't been like at the top of her career for a while. She's had like flop after flop, different album releases, and no singles have taken off really since I want to say Prism. Is that accurate? She's just really had a hard time kind of getting back out there. Like everything she's done has failed. And that's just sad because Teenage Dream is arguably one of the best pop albums in pop music history, right? Like I think she had, how many singles? Is it 5 singles? She might have had 5 like number one singles. How many number ones did Teenage Dream album get? Okay, I was right. My radio experience here is helping me out. I was correct. She had 5 number ones from the Teenage Dream album. So California Girls, Teenage Dream, Firework, E.T., and Last Friday Night. Teenage Dream is the second album in history to have 5 number one singles after Michael Jackson's 1987 album Bad. And this is the first album by a woman to achieve this milestone. So Katy Perry did this first, and then I believe, was it Taylor, or it might have been Ariana Grande? But that is historical. So Katy Perry, it's like, she's an amazing voice. And it's just like she had this perfect formula going with the Teenage Dream album. And then she had some hits from Prism. And then it was just flop. It was like, that's it for her. And one of the best-selling tours of all time with the Teenage Dream tour, which I went to, and it was incredible. I think I went to Prism too. And the Teenage Dream album is featured on her documentary. They did a behind-the-scenes documentary of that tour, and that's where Russell Brand texts her and tells her he wants a divorce. And you see her getting this text message and reacting to it literally hours before she has to go on stage. And she goes on stage and like she's like, it's like a death, like you're watching somebody mourn this relationship and like grieve this relationship, and she is like sobbing uncontrollably, like can't even stand up. She has to lay down to get her makeup done, and they have to like take breaks getting her makeup done because she's just crying so uncontrollably. And like it's like the really heartbreaking crying where it's like you can't even breathe really. It's just like like that, like it is so hard to watch. Like it'll make you sob watching. So she's crying like this before she goes out on stage. It's one of my favorite behind the scene music documentaries of all time. And so anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. I'm just talking about Katy Perry. So she just was that girl. She is that girl. And then kind of nothing. She gets married to Orlando Bloom. She's this daughter, Daisy. I don't think that she's had any kids since Daisy, but I could be mistaken. Anyway, Now she's trying to research her career. But the funny thing is that because she's kind of like been off the radar, like she was out on the campaign trail for Hillary Clinton back in the day. So she was doing all of this and then nothing. And so, you know, the pre-Trump politics, right? Like, so Trump wasn't elected. She is endorsing Hillary Clinton at the time. Pre-Trump politics, it's like it was a different world. And people just were not as extreme as they are now. So now Katy comes out with this single, Woman's World, or it hasn't even come out yet. It's about to. She releases like a 30-second clip, 30-second clip. She is getting absolutely torn apart on Twitter, torn apart for this song for many reasons. One, it's ironic. Even for me, I'm like, that was a choice. That was a choice. She decides to work with Dr. Luke to produce this album and this single, Woman's World, which is supposed to be this like feminist anthem. So there's multiple layers that are like, you have been out of the game for too long, Katy. Don't you know that we don't know what a woman is? And it is incredibly sexist and phobic, you know, to be saying things about, you know, there being two genders, number one. Two, it's like this really cheesy pop anthem. It's like giving Born This Way Lady Gaga. Like, it's sounding very 2010. The sound of it is just really outdated for pop music today. Also, to work with Dr. Luke, if you don't know, this is the producer who basically kept Kesha jailed and prevented her from releasing any music. It's like the Kesha versus Dr. Luke lawsuit. It's one of the biggest in pop history of a woman saying, like, this misogynistic director not only raped me or attempted to rape me. I don't remember what all went down. But I mean, it's a really like disturbing story of sexual harassment, abuse, and misogyny and sexism. And, you know, this is what she's saying. I don't know. So it's this huge lawsuit. And because of this lawsuit, that's why Kesha came out with like TikTok and all of these amazing, huge singles. And then she basically disappeared from the public eye for so long. He kept her from being able to release music. So then you have the woke left is like, Katy Perry, what are you doing? This is you're saying that this song is all about like feminist power, and you are working with the guy who like jailed Kesha or whatever. Abigail Breslin is one celebrity who is openly calling out Katy Perry. By the way, everybody's calling out Katy Perry. Listeners, like normal people, but also celebrities. Abigail Breslin said, I'm just saying working with known abusers in any industry just contributes to the narrative that men can do abhorrent crap and get away with it. On another note, I love Kesha, and she gave one of the best shows I've ever been to last year. Stream Kesha. So here you have Abigail Breslin just openly saying, Katy Perry, this is messed up. And we can play, can you just pull up this link and play it without the sound of this short teaser of the music video for Woman's World that I have linked here, if possible? Because she's also getting roasted for the music video she's teased, because the entire video is like, this is supposed to be a feminist anthem, except it's hypersexualized stereotypes of women for men. So this is like, oh, this is what a man would love. Women, you know, gallivanting around hypersexualized in a construction site. That's what a guy would want a music video to look like, not a woman, if this is supposed to be a song for girls. So the whole thing is really backwards and like an entire failed attempt at a rebrand. And it's just kind of funny and kind of deserved. And what can you say? This is what happens. The left moves their goalpost every day. It's something different. You're accepted here, but the next day you're not, because we've changed the definitions. Now this is okay when it wasn't before. Blah 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 blah. So prayers for Katy, R.I.P. Then Jennifer Garner's teen daughter says this week that she wants masks mandated in 2024. In 2024. I guess the full music video is out. But see, it's like I haven't even seen anything about it because it's totally fallen off the radar. So Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner's daughter Violet is urging Los Angeles officials to oppose mask bans. She says that she's developed some post-viral condition. Okay. Well, I wonder, if she got any juices. She's saying that I have these long-lasting effects from, the virus. And so she goes to this LA County Board of Supervisors meeting on Tuesday. She is a first-time voter, so I guess what does that mean? She's 18. And she says, well, I'm okay now, but 1 in 10 infections leads to long blank, which is this devastating neurological cardiovascular illness that can take away people's ability to work, move, see, and think. She says to help reduce the risk, I am calling for different measures like mask mandates in county medical facilities. She wants all sorts of air filtration and UVC stuff, UVC light that can be in government facilities, including jails. So she says we must expand availability of high-quality free tests and treatment. They'll never let this virus go. She says the county must oppose mask bans for any reason. They do not keep us safer. They make us more vulnerable members of our community less safe and make everyone less able to participate in Los Angeles together. And, there's a picture of her walking around with her mom, Jennifer Garner. She is masked. Her mother is not. What I am telling you is is she Gen A or Gen Z? Is she Gen A? What are the years of Gen A? The kids who went through the pandemic are not all right because they were told if you don't do this certain thing, you will die, your loved ones will die. And it has been completely seared into their brains that this is now what you must do or you are a bad person. You are a bad person. Doesn't matter what the evidence shows. If you do not wear this or do this, you are a bad person. I also think it's interesting. This is the cause that somebody like, someone that's Jennifer Garner's young daughter would take up because she has no real problems. Lib issues, to me, always speak to the most privileged group of people. Somebody who has never gone through adversity in their entire life, somebody who's never gone through anything. These are the types of causes that they spearhead and really these are the hills that they die on, which I just think is ironic. And it just speaks to so this is your way to stand out and be different and say oh, woe is me, something's wrong with me. I have long-lasting side effects. Doesn't disclose, any juices she may have taken during the pandemic. But yeah. I love Jennifer Garner, by the way. I love following her on Instagram. I love when she cooks with her mom. I love that family. I think their kids are a little bit messed up. But what can you say going through their parents' divorce and how messed up Ben Affleck is and, all the things. It's it was kind of expected. I think she's got some kid who I don't know what they identify as. So it's just there's all kinds of things going on with this family. But I do love Jennifer Garner. So it is what it is. Nobody's perfect, as Hannah Montana would say. And I want to end on Shelley Duvall from The Shining, who passed away this week, which is very sad, and how I think she has one of the saddest Hollywood stories. And I guess most people don't know this. I thought everybody knew this. Maybe it's just because I'm horror movie obsessed, but she kind of retreated and left Hollywood after The Shining, and that's because this movie completely messed her up, destroyed her from a psychological standpoint. And it's very juicy and very sad. And she just seems like the sweetest person and just had a total mental break. So she died this week at the age of 75 and is very, very talented. She is most known for portraying Wendy Torrance in the 1980 horror classic, The Shining. Was it 1980? I really thought The Shining came out in the late 70s. That seems wrong. I have to just double check this article. The Shining year. Okay, 1980. Okay. I'm not totally off. I'm thinking late 70s because the novel, Stephen King's novel, of course, it is based on the book. The book came out in 1977. Look at that. You're residential horror girly. I knew I wasn't total. I was like, that doesn't seem right. Okay, so the movie came out in 1980. The book is 1977. Starred Jack Nicholson, Danny Lloyd, Shelley Duvall. So during the movie, she is, by the way, anyone in the chat never seen The Shining still, please watch over the weekend. It's cinematic history, but also so good, and you need to watch it. And watch it with your children. I'm just being facetious. I mean, maybe your kid can handle it. I watch everything. I was just talking to this guy. By the way, should I say it? Mother has a date. Anyway, I was talking to this guy, and I was talking about how I love horror and love thrillers, love everything scary, TV, movies, going to haunted houses, the whole thing. And I told him how, like, I was 8 years old and watched it for the first time and loved it and was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And I was like enthralled, slept like a baby afterward, didn't affect me at all. Meanwhile, my little brother, who's 3 years younger than me, he watched it and he slept under his bed after the first time watching it. So every child is different. I don't have this like weird what's the word? Puritan. I don't have this like thing of, I know some Christian parents are like, nothing scary ever for our kids, period. I am just not that way. I love Halloween. I love all the scary things. Now my best friend and her family, they don't celebrate Halloween. It is totally each their own. I don't care what you do or what you don't do, as long as you don't care what I do or don't do. But anyway, I love all things scary. And so what was the point of any of this? Oh, I guess because I'm making a joke like, let your kids watch it. I think The Shining, I mean, it's scary, but I don't think it would be that bad for some certain kids to watch. Anyway, this is, parenting advice from Alex, who doesn't have kids. You know what? Just take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, so in the movie, if you haven't seen it, Shelley Duvall plays Jack Nicholson. Sorry, she plays Jack Nicholson's wife, yes. And she is terrorized by her husband. He is a writer, and to finish his book, they go to this, it's a real hotel in Colorado called the Overlook. Well, I don't know if the hotel in real life is called the Overlook. Maybe it is. No, the hotel is called something else. I've always wanted to stay there. Anybody stay there in the chat? It's a real hotel in Colorado. You should bring up the pictures of that on the live. But it's this huge hotel, and in the movie anyway, it's called the Overlook Hotel. And he's like, well, we got to stay there as a family, you, me, and our child, because I need a place that's secluded so I can finish my book. But while he's there, he goes crazy. And so she's terrorized by her husband, trapped in this hotel. And it's like they're in a snowstorm. They can't escape. And anyway, so she films this movie. And I guess the director, Stanley Kubrick, the film takes 56 weeks to produce. And it actually, the movie holds the Guinness World Record for most retakes for one scene with a dialogue. They would do like one scene and they would film it like, I don't know, 40 times over and over and over and over again. And this is a horror movie. So you're dealing with like extremely like psychological demanding themes and very disturbing stuff, and you're having to do it over and over again. And so basically, Shelley said it was the most difficult role that I've ever had to play. From May until October, I was in and out of ill health because of the stress of the role. It was so great on me. She said that Stanley Kubrick pushed her and prodded her more than she's ever been pushed before as an actress. She says that he bullied her on set. He treated her differently than other actors. She recalled grueling 15-hour days filming the horror scene. She said her hands were left raw and shredded from holding that baseball bat for such long periods of time. And she would know that she would go into a scene where she has to cry. And if you've seen the movie, I mean, her acting is so good in this. It's like this woman just is never out of this like terrorized state, and she's just bawling the entire time. Like she doesn't stop crying. And she said that was real because she would wake up knowing that she had to film this movie. and that it was going to be a day of filming where she was going to have to cry all day. And because she was so upset and distraught that she was going to have to wake up and cry all day long, she would start crying. And so she just was all like, everything is real because she's just crying because like, it was like horrible. So she said she had to cry 12 hours a day, all day long, for 9 months straight, 5 or 6 days a week. She said she was there a year and a month in that freaking hotel. She said she would cry and scream for 12 hours straight and go home, and it was like, it was basically like the movie, filming this movie created a psychotic break in her. She said during the day, she would be absolutely miserable. She had been an actress for 22 years. And then in 2002, she decided to permanently retire from acting. She briefly tried to do something in 2023 after a really long time kind of out of the spotlight. But she had this really sad, controversial interview with Dr. Phil in 2016 or something. Yeah, I think it was 2016. She went on Dr. Phil, and she had not been seen for years in public. And she shows up on Dr. Phil, like basically looking like she had escaped a psych ward. She was talking out of her mind, saying stuff that didn't make sense. It was almost like a schizophrenic type of psychotic break, like, you know, just somebody that's like out of their mind. But it was like, you could tell it was genuine. It wasn't alcohol. It wasn't drugs. It was like, this is somebody who is struggling severely with mental illness. And it was really controversial for Dr. Phil to do this interview because people said that Dr. Phil was taking advantage of her. Like, you talk to this person, his producers talk to this person. It's like obvious she does not have any business being on camera. And yet they brought her on camera to kind of like, in viewers' words, viewers felt like he exploited her at a very vulnerable time where she clearly was unwell. And she talked about in 2021 regret over doing that interview. She claimed that Dr. Phil was not a nice person. She said, I found out the kind of person he is the hard way. My mother didn't like him. A lot of people told me that I shouldn't have done that. And so, yeah, she died yesterday. Very sad. The cause of complications was diabetes, according to her friend. But you have to go back if you've not ever like looked up that interview on YouTube with Dr. Phil. You should watch the interview with Dr. Phil, and you should also watch The Shining again, or for the first time if you haven't, or look up at least clips. If you're like, I can't do scary, look up clips of Shelley in The Shining and like some of these scenes where she's so disturbed, and just knowing that it was like real being disturbed for her, and like how crazy that would be to be over a year filming one of the longest films ever made to shoot, and just like being in that environment. I don't know. That makes the movie even scarier in my opinion. But that is the Shelley Duvall story, and why the whole thing is really sad. And somebody says I'm going to hell. Okay. Okay. Well, another day on living online. Thank you for that. Okay. Now, the spillover, you may have noticed, is not on YouTube this week because we used to have a country. You can listen to my latest episode with Natural Nurse Mama, aka Lauren Johnson, anywhere that you get your podcasts, besides YouTube. You can watch it. People are like, where can I watch? I put it on my X account. So Yo Alex Raps with a Z is where you'll find me on X, Twitter. We discussed the childhood juice schedule, as well as listener submitted questions about everything from like mammograms to how naturally to get over a summer cold, or naturally get over a yeast infection, allergies. What are the different types of magnesium? What does each type do for the body? All sorts of things. I asked her some really good questions. It was so good. I had so much stuff to ask her, and I could have her back on for something else another time for sure. But that is on X, Yo Alex Raps with a Z, and then Apple and Spotify. So enjoy that episode. Share it with everybody because it is highly censored topic. And I kind of knew that I was taking a huge risk. I thought I was real nervous to post. I was actually texting Lauren yesterday and I was like, here's the deal. Here's the reel that I made to tease the episode. And I want you to watch it and tell me, like, do you think we're going to get like knocked off Instagram for this? And she said, like, I'll be brave and post it if you will. And I was like, let's freaking do it, girl. So I love Lauren because she is bold. She's brave. She's a great podcast, Red Pill Your Health Cast, which I've been listening to forever. And she does that podcast with Dr. Charlie Fagenholtz, who is also incredible. And they're just so good. Every week they basically just like read listener submitted questions on all things health and answer it. Like everything from like diabetes to PCOS, I'm having trouble with getting pregnant, blah, 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 blah. Everything. They're so good. So you should listen to that. Don't forget the jam shirts and the jam tote and the stickers, tpusamerch.com. Code Alex Clark will get you 10% off. Now, there will be a live next week, I think, possibly. And then not one the last week of July because I'm filming an interview that day on that Friday for the podcast. And I try not to film podcasts on Fridays because I have this, but sometimes you have a guest where it's like, hey, this is the only day I can do it. So it's like, I have no choice. Anyway, up in the air on what's going on. So I will tell you this. Changes are coming. I think I hinted at this last time. Changes are coming. Stick together. They're good changes. You're going to be scared at first, but you shouldn't be. You should be excited because they're really awesome. Like, really awesome. More info will be coming the first week of August. But until now, I will just let you blissfully enjoy life without knowing the changes. So discuss amongst yourselves, predict amongst yourselves. I have been dropping hints for several months. Some of you pay attention, some of you don't. That is your fault. But I have tried to tell you. Anyway, Politics Live, the future is to be determined. But my plan is to do it next week unless something happens crazy, and then I'll tell you if I'm not, but that is the plan. Otherwise, stay tuned for the biggest announcement since the start of the spillover in 2021. Big, huge changes. Okay. I'm just saying big, huge changes over and over with no context to, I guess, freak you out. All right. Like this. Thumbs up. Love you. Bye.